Welcome into the Players Club, presented by Pepsi. The Players Club is presented by Pepsi, the official soft drink of the Washington Commanders. And in part by Johnson Kendall Johnson, the official insurance broker and risk management partner of the Washington Commanders, where our passion is your protection. Now for your hosts, London Fletcher, Santana Moss, and Sean Springs.
Welcome into the Players Club. Since it's the bye week, we're kicking off the show by looking back at the first 13 weeks of the season.
And later, we're going to go into the film room to check out our top 5 plays of the season so far.
And then we have punter Tress Way joining us.
Well, fellas, since it's the bye week, I'm gonna start by asking you guys, what was it like? You know, I think we kind of chimed in on this a little bit a couple of shows ago, but I'm gonna ask you again, what was it like for you guys during y'all bye week when you was playing?
Man, for me, it was, just like, man, I just want a little couple days, little staycation maybe, but I wouldn't travel. Mm-hmm. I just felt like I just needed to be at home, organize myself for the second half of the season, just kind of relax and do some things.
I would do kind of similar. You know, if we were here in D.C. as an entire family, we'd do a staycation, maybe go down to the Four Seasons, something like that. That type of
Give
guy.
a shout out to Big Fletch in the Four Seasons.
Chad, you remember under Shanahan, we got a whole week off, and my family, they had stayed back in Charlotte my last 2 seasons. So I went back there, and Coach was like, make sure you get a run, don't sit around. And so I waited about 3 or 4 days to get my run in. And man, I felt old as hell when I went to do that run. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to finish the rest of the season because the way I'm running, I felt terrible, man. Yeah. All kind of arthritis had set in, man. But for the most part, I was a chill guy, never would do a vacation, do all that type of stuff. I was still kind of locked in. Yeah,
it's crazy that you guys say that because I always felt like I was the oddball. I felt like for years, when I say years, I mean I had to from year one all the way up until my 12th year, right? I'd never went anywhere. You know, I was always the furthest I would go is back to Miami. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to get out of the cold or whatever it may be. Or even if it wasn't the cold, you want to just get away and go back home, something familiar. But I would never do anything else. And I heard so many other guys in the locker room talking about these trips. And I'm like, well, you know, D Hall, them boys go to Vegas. They do their little thing. I'm like,
Dirty Harry, he liable to hit Vegas, LA, all in 3 days.
All in 3 days.
I used to feel like, man, I'm not enjoying this, you know. But I think it was more so.
Going to the Caribbean, all kind of stuff.
I think it was more so when the Shanahans got into play. They spoke about getting away for a week, and so I, like I say, I'm one of those guys, man. I know it might sound, it probably won't sound odd to you guys because you guys watched how I practice and how I prepare it. But if you tell me anything and I trust in you to be telling me what I need to do, I'm going to listen. And so when I heard them guys talking about getting away from here, reset, that's what I did. I say, you know what? Hey, we going out of town. We going to go on a trip and I'm going to reset. And I just went to where I knew best. You know, Miami and the Bahamas is a 30-minute flight. So I would go home.
Hanging out at the Atlantis, man.
Go over there to where some of my folks from, man.
Did you have a good time, man, in the Bahamas?
I always chilled, though. I would, so
even in Bahamas?
Not like you. I didn't wait to work out. I worked out every day. I worked out every day, every morning.
You had to do that.
I would get up in the morning and work out.
I actually felt better every day getting up, stretching, doing something.
Why y'all ain't give me the blueprint for that? I felt awful.
Nah, man. But you got to think, too, Fletch, you play way more years. You was much older, so it was a little different for you.
And you're linebacker, too. It's rougher on your body, brother.
Boy, I was like,
around that time of the season, I was kind of like, especially with the Shanahans, I was fresh because I was playing different roles. So, they talking about reset to a guy who, I'm only coming in third down. I'm going to reset on that.
Say less.
I'm feeling great.
Exactly. Right. Well, fellas, it's my favorite time of the show, Drive Time, presented by Eastern Automotive Group. Any car, any way, for everyone. Since 1988, man. With this segment, we're gonna recap the season, man, up to this point. I think it's a perfect time for us to look back at some of the things that has transpired. And one of the things people fail to realize is like this is what happened through seasons: the good and the bad and the ugly. You know what I mean? Like it's not gonna always be peaches and cream. And I say that with a smile on my face because I've been in playoff seasons going through some of the things our team is going through right now. And so with that being said, man, let's kick this thing off. I'm gonna ask you guys, how you feel about Jaden Daniels' rookie seasons up to this point?
I think Jaden's been phenomenal. He's been probably better than advertised.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you knew, and this is coming from a guy who came in as a number 2 overall draft pick,
Yeah.
Heisman Trophy winner. We knew the talent was there, but the way he played, especially during the first, let's call it 7-8 games of the season, well, he was in the conversation of being in the MVP, not just offensive rookie of the year, but he was a legitimate candidate for MVP of the league. The injury kind of slowed him down a little bit, but lately you're starting to see him bounce back and be that type of player.
He's actually had a full week of practice.
Yeah, we're starting to see him be that player he was pre-injury. He's his maturity, his maturation, his approach to the game, just it's hard not to be impressed with what he's done. And the thing is, the crazy part is, man, he's only going to continue to get better. The more experiences he go through, the more defenses he face, and he's able to put those reps and the experiences in his back pocket and know how to attack that.
Yeah, because he started off week 1 what 86 yards rushing, right?
Yeah.
And then we was like, first read ain't there, take off and run. And then we saw him. We've seen over the last couple of weeks with the ability to go through his progressions. For me, man, it's interesting because going into the year, there were some things that we were uncertain about, and that was the lineman. The line, what would the line, like B-Rob is coming back, but what would the line look like? We got a whole new linebacking crew. Frankie Louvu Wagner. Got guys that we bring in, free agency, Fowler, Armstrong, rookie Mike Sinistrel on defense. And it seemed to be like we was excited about the change, but I think there was a little sense of we don't know what we have.
So with that being said, I'm glad you're there.
Right.
Who could you say was your biggest veteran impact that has been an impact to the team?
Oh man, that's tough, man. That's tough because I think on both sides of the ball, I could give. Give
me one for both sides then, or all 3 phases.
I want to say Austin Eckler.
Special teams or running back?
Special teams or running back,
Yeah.
and I could have went with guys we had on the show, Betez and the linemen.
Yeah.
On the defense side of the ball, that's a really, really hard one. But obviously, y'all know I'm gonna say Frankie Louvu. I knew you was waiting on me to say that.
I was like,
I already knew it was coming.
Everybody knew I was gonna say Frank. But it's really hard, man, because Bobby's impact to the whole defense. London, you talked about it all the time about the defense at times when we had before weren't communicating. It seemed like everybody wasn't on the same page. Week 13, over the weeks, we've seen the defense kind of move together, play together. You could take a guy out, put another guy in, and this defense still seems to be going towards a well-oiled machine. So I attribute that to a veteran leadership like a guy like Bobby, who's a signal caller, right? So for me, it's pretty tough to just single out one veteran that's done it. But I think we hit on it. We hit on the guys we brought in.
I'll say this. I'm gonna say Biotish.
Biotish is
as the on the offensive side because of all that the center position entails and the responsibility, setting the protection. He's been stout in there, anchor, and he's been banged up the last few weeks, but his impact on the offensive line and on the offense in general has been tremendous. They're able to do a lot more things with him. You see him getting out, pulling, not just using him blocking in the interior, but being able to get out on the perimeter and do a lot of different things. And that's great to have a calming presence at that position when you got a rookie quarterback. Defensively, Frankie's been outstanding, but I also think you can say Dante Fowler.
Yes,
it's been equally as impressive and equally as important. So those two guys, there was a stretch where Fowler was just. He was just wrecking havoc.
Oh, man,
Sack, I think he went, 6 or 7 sacks in 8 or 7 games, whatever the case may be. He was just playing outstanding football, and he continues to do that. So I'll say, I don't want to pick Fowler over Louvu, so I'm going to say they both 1A, 1A.
Yeah.
But on the offensive side, I definitely got to go with Biotis.
I mean, we talked about him against Dexter Lawrence, and obviously he was banged up against the Eagles, but he has been a grown man inside.
Tanner, who you got, man?
Well, offensively, I'm going to stick with the guys that I know well, and that's Scary Terry. I think, man, honestly, it's crazy that it's easy to sit here and call out a lot of guys like Biotis, Cosme. Those guys have been an integral part of what we've been able to do as a whole offensively. But I do believe that in the passing game, it's nobody been, as dynamic, in the division, to say the least, than Terry. I mean, and he's a guy that's not getting a huge volume of opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's the thing that I've always, proud of myself of, when guys be like, Tanner, what you give me a name for yourself. I'm just like, call me the guy that do more with less. You know what I mean? Or, honestly, I've done so much.
Commercial.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And honestly, we's always, like, my friends has always asked me that question, like, damn, that rings. I'm like, bro, if you think about it, you give me 4, one of them going to pay dirt. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's how I look at Terry offensively. He's just been that guy, especially in our passing game. I can also put a Zach Ertz up there because he's been playing phenomenal. Yeah. People haven't seen this Ertz in a while. Right. You know what I mean? But I just got to give that credit to Terry.
You called it on that Terry too. You said I remember you saying after the Cincinnati game, you was like, he gave you a hug. You saw something different.
It's been up ever since, right?
You called it. Right.
Defensively, I'm gonna say Chin. I think, don't get me wrong, I can easily, Quan is a young guy, and he's playing phenomenal at safety. But Chin, man, for the last 3-4 weeks, he arguably has been the tackle leader on defense.
He has.
10 to 13 tackles a week. Yeah. And
open field tackles
when you have that kind of presence in your secondary, man, dog, that changes everything. And I know we still having that problem with, stopping the run a little bit. But one of the things I can say about that is, we're not letting them guys finish with it. You get to a certain point where our defense, and then you see those guys stalemate you. You know what I mean? So we can win with that. We can win and play that kind of football.
Yeah, we can.
And that's what I love about it. You guys know that's best, man. When you get in that red zone and you're able to, put your heels in the dirt and say, all right, now score. Mm-hmm. And they don't. That's a win for the defense. So Chin is playing phenomenal, man, in the secondary, in the passing game, in the run game. This guy's flying around. And it's like I say, it's other guys that probably you can sit up there and put on that pedestal too. But I'm gonna give him that credit. I think special teams wise, it's hard, man. The old Grateful though, 39, man.
Oh yeah. The pro.
But what about this? And when we know Cyber just went in, on IR, but Cyber.
Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. I was gonna give him credit. I was gonna give him credit because he has been, I guess you can say, he exceeded what my expectation was from coming in. I didn't think I was going to get that kind of a kicker, especially getting him the way we got him.
Yeah.
So he exceeded my expectation, and I want to say hats off to him.
Let me ask you this, Tanner. Anybody, well, both of y'all, who has surprised you? Like, who has surprised you?
Man. I'm going to say this, and it's going to be hard. A lot of people probably going to kick me. You see, I had to pause because I want to really put it out the way I want to. Yeah. St. Jude's has. He surprised me. Don't get me wrong.
What you mean by that, bro? Like,
he's given up some plays.
Right.
St. Jude's this year has been much a better improved tackler.
Yep. Yeah.
He's been improved in his coverage at times, like especially underneath. Like, he surprised me a lot with just some of the things that I questioned last year of his physicality at the line of scrimmage. I'm big on that because I'm like, and when you have that, that length, that reach, that size, you can run. You gotta, man. Give me his body and tell me who you want to be. I'm a corner, coach. Put me out there because I'm gonna dominate the guy at the line of scrimmage. I'm gonna be able to run with you, and especially with my ball skills, I'm taking them things. You know what I'm saying?
So if you got ball skills, you're not playing. You're not playing corner. You're playing receiver.
But I'm saying I played both. Growing up.
I know.
And that was my first.
You be me.
First love.
You be me, Santana.
I won't be you.
Hey, you be me.
Trust me. I see myself not being like
you. Be Bluefoot Junior.
Yeah, you be Bluefoot. You be Blue too.
Never.
Blue too. I like that.
But I say he surprised me. I say he surprised me for the simple fact that I think he has been a much improved player. I mean, people gonna get on him about giving up certain plays, and that's just life. That's football. You know what I mean? Especially in that position, you have to have amnesia. Like Fred, I think he's the best guy to give credit to that.
Because he got beat all the time. Anyway, don't put my dog in there. I don't give Fred no credit.
Hey, speaking of Fred, man, going into the Cowboys game, there was a bunch of highlights. Like, you see Tata highlights, you see Blue highlights, see some of my highlights, see a bunch of guys highlight. I didn't see one Fred Smith highlight.
Leave him alone, man.
I even saw Logan highlight.
You know he gets sensitive
I'm gonna put Matty them and everybody who on the staff them at fault.
I gotta find a
all
Fred Smith highlight.
Anna, all y'all who don't go in there and dig up my dog highlights.
Yeah, man,
you gotta dig up the 21 highlights now. When he wore 21, Fred was a bad boy.
That video gonna be so grainy.
Yeah, man, gonna be tough.
So who was your surprise?
My surprise, man, has been Diami Brown.
Okay.
And here's why.
That's a good one.
One, when Dahan got traded, everybody was a little shocked. Yeah. And that was shocking. And two, at the beginning of the year, everybody was like, man, this guy's on a bubble. We need to see something from him this year. Yeah. He got a brand new opportunity with a new coaching staff to prove himself. And we've seen flashes of him catching deep balls. We see him taking screens and taking them, hitting them. We know Terry. We know that they brought him Brown, free agency. Diami still seems to be the guy, when he get his catches, he make the most of them. So he surprised me because I didn't know if we were going to get anything out of him, because it was like, what we seeing with this guy? Yeah. And I think he showed that he's worthy to get touches and get some catches.
I mean, I like that. I think I could have easily said that too, for him. I think the one thing that I would love to see is really have more of a place on the offense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I want to see him have a home.
Like, be
the guy that come in every third down and saying, this guy going to stretch the field.
Yep.
We could give him a slip screen. He can move the chain. And that's what I want to see from him. Like, because I feel like he has that caliber of
you
playing.
See flashes of it, right?
I see it all the time. So I will hope that if he's a guy or one of his family members or one of his followers hear us talking about him, like, we think highly of him. And I've been thinking highly of him. But I think also when you hear guys like myself being critical of guys like him, you name it, St. Juice and those guys, that's because we see the potential and we want to see the consistency.
There's more.
Grow. We want to see you be able to hold on to it, because that's one of the things I've learned as a collegiate, as a high school player. Like, my coach in high school told me, I'm not going to throw the ball until I can honestly trust that you're going to catch it. And you know how that felt as a receiver? Like, why the hell am I out here then? Because if you ain't
block,
and that's what I did.
The block for the running back.
And the coach would throw us one pass a game. And me and my homeboy, it's crazy that we would have 1 for 80 in the touchdown. Because, like, we was dynamic in scoring.
That's bad coaching,
and
man.
Coaches be like, everybody be like, man, why y'all need to throw the ball more?
Yeah,
coach
bad coach. He need to throw the ball more,
but we was wing T. So we had 3 1,500 yard rushers in our backfield. Fullback, running back, and a quarterback all rush for 1,500.
Man, that yards per reception average is ridiculous.
All you heard was, boo! We was going deep. But I just want to see guys like those two guys be more consistent.
How about you, London?
I'm gonna say Mikey Sammers still.
Yeah.
Because, he was drafted. Nick Saban, he mentioned him being the best pound-for-pound player. As a rookie corner, not the biggest cornerback, he was drafted, with the idea he was going to play the nickel.
Slot.
Play the slot.
Yep.
Be inside. You love his his toughness, his physicality, his savviness. But because of the circumstance situation, he had to move outside.
Yep.
And he's held it down outside. So Mikey Sammers still
look real good. Really good.
He's a guy that has really impressed me.
Yeah.
Because of, hey, he was drafted to do this.
Yeah.
Right.
He started off doing that, but now
he can do
do this.
Yeah.
And just that versatility, his toughness, his savviness. There's times where wide receiver screens, bubble screens, tunnel screens, coming up in the run support, making plays, slipping blocks.
Yep.
He's like, dang, this kid, man, he doesn't shine out.
What we call Clark Kent?
Yeah,
Clark Kent
walking in with his glasses on. Yeah. When he get in between his line, he is pure performance.
I add something to that. even more surprising is that he changed to the cornerback position his senior year in college.
Yeah, right.
So for a guy to be where he's at now
learning,
in his game, he's way ahead of the curve when it comes to what you guys have went through as real true DBs. You know what I'm saying?
He's
went
learning.
through all the growing pains. He's like a new out there, and especially in this league, it's hard to come in this league and dominate. I don't care how good you was on the collegiate level.
Oh yeah,
you don't get guys first year coming in and dominating like that
and playing outside and undersized doing it.
Yeah. Can we give a shout out to Joe Witt?
Oh,
give a shout out.
Because they had a rough week. The secondary rough week against Tampa, against Mike Evans, or St. Juice did. Yeah. And then them guys, man, every week you talk about Quinn, Quan. We had him on the show. He's making plays. Mike, since we had on the show, and those guys continue to get better. So you're right. He's been a pleasant surprise.
You know what's crazy about that? Since we're talking about Joe Witt, did you ever have a person or coach, anybody that spoken to you and you initially just believed it out the gate? Like you just, the way it came out, you was like, I believe you. Like, I got to see it, but I believe you. Yeah. I think that first sit down with Joe Witt, it was nothing he said that I didn't believe.
Right.
You know what I mean? The way it came off his tongue, man, it was nothing he said that I didn't believe. So
he said it with chest.
Not only that, man, it was bingo. That's the word. You know what I mean? And when you have a coach, that's how people are able to follow you. When you say it and it's stern, it's concrete. It's nothing.
There's no gray area in
it's
that
definitive.
Message, in that delivering of a message. The worst thing that you can have as a player, I don't want to go on the football field. We don't want to go on the football field with gray in our mind, with doubt. Like, all right, do I do it this way? Do I do it that way? I want black and white, 100%. This is how we're going to do it.
Yes.
You want to be able to, so that allows me to play fast.
Play fast,
show my talents, do all those types of things. If I'm kind of questioning, okay, this technique, how we going to stop this, what we going to do if they come out of this formation, I can't be fast. I can't
slow you down.
I can't give my call with conviction. I can't give an alert with conviction because I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. But as you mentioned, Tanner, the first time we interviewed him, you're like, man, I believe in what he said.
Every word.
You know, and it wasn't even about selling. It was about his style of football play, the style of play.
He was confident.
How they going to get down, how they going to do these type of things and play football.
Yeah, and I want to mention something. We still, as we're on the drive time, I think a word that came up was the season recap. I just want to bring it up and see how y'all respond to it. Man, every single person we had on the show mentioned brotherhood.
Yeah.
You're right.
And so
Dan Quinn is literally, he's infused these guys with this thing of brotherhood, and you can see it in their play. You can see it. You can actually see it on the field where guys are, I mean, they coming to the party. Defensively, I haven't seen this many people to the ball in a long time. I mean, it's like a pack of hyenas every time somebody got the ball in their hand, and that's what you want on defense. You want these guys to be on you like a tarantula on a caterpillar. You know what I'm saying? Like you want these guys to feel like
Nat Geo, man. What you
Did you start visualizing
he's taking me. I'm like, how you see that?
Because they swarm. Like you don't see the caterpillar no more, and that's how our guys are when the guy got the ball. You don't see the ball carrier. It's like a bunch of arms.
That's a beautiful sight when you see 7, 8, 9, 10 guys in the frame around the ball carrier. It's beautiful. It's intimidating for offense.
It's a beautiful sight when you see the offensive guys going down the field blocking for the backs and the receivers still blocking hard. One of them boys hitting the crease too. That's brotherhood.
Yeah, that is.
That's that brotherhood.
But that's a credit to, as you mentioned, Dan Quinn setting the stage, setting the culture. Everybody has a culture. I mean, good teams have culture, bad teams have culture. But is it the right type of culture?
Yeah, great point.
And there's no question Dan Quinn has set the right type of culture.
When we come back, we'll be setting the tone for the rest of the season.
Welcome back to the Players Club. Fellas, it's time to set the tone. It's time to set the tone. Brought to you by Johnson Kendall Johnson, the official insurance broker and risk management partner of the Washington Commanders, where our passion is your protection. Let's talk about attacking the rest of the season after the bye week.
Yeah.
We got 4 games left.
Critical 4 games.
Critical 4 games.
Yes,
we got the Saints, the Eagles, the Falcons, and the Cowboys. How y'all want to see us attack these last 4 games? Tanner, I'm going to start with you.
Oh, man. I mean, first of all, I want to see everybody that has a nick or has something going on with them. I want to see them, really, get on that this you hear me saying off season, this bye week. I just feel like these guys are a little tired. And when it gets this late in the season, man, don't matter if you injured or not, man. When you need a break, this is the kind of reset that I guess them Shanahans was telling us back in the day that we won't really need. And I want to see those guys come refreshed. I just want to see a team that has a vision of seeing themselves playing in the postseason.
Yeah.
And I think the only way you can have that vision is by how you attack that first week. That first week gonna be so critical in what you're telling the rest of the country about your team, about yourself. Like this is what you're finna see these next 4 weeks, and it's gonna start. That first game out to the bye, and
Going into a tough place.
Going into a tough place.
It's not played down there.
It's not easy, but I can tell you this: when you get up, that dome get quiet. So if you want to get it, you better get up.
You get up early.
You get up early, man. Because I've been in there a couple of times where I scored a touchdown or two, or somebody that thing you can hit a man up there selling popcorn. So
what they call you in New Orleans, man?
They don't call me now.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Mr. Voodoo.
Mr. Voodoo.
Let us find out you got a nickname for the Saints too.
Oh man, no.
Last 4 weeks, break was needed. You're absolutely right. It was brutal. But now we got the break, which may be a blessing if we come off and do what we need to do over the next 4 weeks. And it's going to start by re-energized, refocused, one game at a time.
Yeah.
And I know it's cliche, but it has to be that level of focus. Intentional detail for each week, because you're not going to beat these teams. If even the Saints going down to New Orleans, if that intentional detail, being healthy, stand on top of your body, just really, everybody got to be on we talked about all 3 phases, special teams, defense, offense. You got to be on. We got to be on it. And I think, what I want to see is going back to, I think there's a recipe for us to win. And that recipe is we got to start beating people up with our front lane. December football?
Yeah, we got to.
December football, we know what it is.
Get behind the big ugly.
The December and January, we know what it is. And it ain't no secret what that takes. That's physical football. So, London, I'm going to let you, hey, what we say? We don't negotiate with terrorists or hostages.
We do not negotiate. You saw me start smiling. As soon as you start talking December football, man, my thing, I perked up over here. I was like, man.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's a different type of grind.
Yeah.
But you said it. The trenches.
Yeah.
All O-line, D-line. When we were rolling, our offensive line, one of the best in the league.
Yep.
We went through a little spell. Wasn't able to really play up to our potential. A lot of it was injuries.
Yep.
It was injuries, and you're not making an excuse, but that's the
reality of it.
Having the bye week, getting a little bit healthier, getting healthier. I'll say this: being able to truly, and I know they self-scout throughout the season, but now even digging even deeper into what have these teams been able to see, and what have we shown them that they've been able to kind of stop our offense so much? What are we doing? Well, how can we switch some things up? From a defense standpoint, we play well, but how can we take it to even another level? Because when you think about football in December, run game has to be going, and defense has to be going. Run game's offensive line, stopping the run, defensive line, being able to get after the quarterback. So how can we take it another step further and embrace it? Coach Quinn said, hey, 13 weeks of the season, nothing is even decided yet. Nothing's still decided. So we are right where we want to be in the midst of it.
I think that's important. We're right where we want to be, right?
Yeah.
So you ain't in a position where you can don't feel like I need to relax.
Yeah.
I'm right where I need to be to take it. That's a good point. That's a very good point.
And even staying on that kind of mindset, our division hasn't been decided yet.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
Look at the Eagles, man. It's a 2-team race.
Yeah.
The Eagles, they still got to play us. They got to play the Cowboys. The Giants, last game of the season. But they still got a couple tough games.
Yeah.
Yep.
How do we tighten this NFC East race down too?
Yeah, I mean, all that stuff. This sounds like to me is we all speaking the same language, and I think, what you guys mentioned about December and January. I think most of the teams who oppose their will is the teams that you see in the postseason. Those teams that come and play that kind of football. This is when all that, special stuff that we ran throughout the season to get us here goes out the door. We don't put enough on that on tape. Everybody gonna be ready for that. Now it's about putting the best package on the field and saying, you can't stop this.
Right.
This is what we do best, and we're going to dominate you with this. And half of that, to me, is what we did earlier in the year with our run game. So I would love to see us get behind, whether it's going to be B-Rob or Matt Nichols or, Rodriguez. Whoever it's going to be, the guys up front is who they should be worried about, not the guys who run the ball. Because if you got the guys up front doing their job, me, Fletch, and Blue can go back there and be the running back for the next half of the season and just lay the pod, and we do what we want to do. So it's going to be big, like what you're saying.
Sean, you seen him walk, man?
Yeah, I was just trying to give him a little. I was just trying to.
Y'all know that ain't that.
Ego a little bit. Stroking his ego a little bit.
That boy still stop on a dime.
That thing gonna give out.
Stop on the dime.
That thing gonna give out now.
If Deion can jog on the field, I know I can. I know I can.
Oh,
man. So, but seriously, it's we're going back on the taking. We got that NFC East. We got to win. We got to win our division games here out.
Let's make them count, man.
They count. So
as we the Marshawn signing.
Yes.
At this recording, we don't know when he's going to be back on the field, if he's already playing. The impact that he's going to have, especially down the stretch.
Yes.
These ball games.
Yeah, I would hope. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves because we've been that way as a franchise, as a fan base. I can say. We kind of see something done and then we straight up go out. Oh, this is going to make us
right.
But I would hope that he's nothing more than what we expect. You know what I mean? Like I want to see him just be that guy that he was in New Orleans. I don't want to see nothing more than just that. You know what I mean? He don't have to be no special than what we saw in New Orleans, and I think that'll be a huge upgrade for our defense.
When you go out and get a guy like Marshawn, that's a direct indication that you believe you can make it to the playoffs. Mm-hmm. You need him. You got CeeDee Lamb, you got Brown and Smith at the Eagles. You got Neighbors, Giants. Obviously, we played them already. But when I saw that move, I thought it was for if we got to go to Detroit for St. Brown, if we got to go to Minnesota for Jefferson, if we got to go back to I felt like if we got to go to Seattle, that's for their receivers that they have. I felt like that move was a playoff
Blue,
decision.
You could speak to this because you were number one corner for the majority of your career.
13 years of my career.
Okay, I
matched up.
I threw the layup for you. I don't know how New England treated you.
Yeah, I matched up in my 13th year.
Okay,
but keep going.
Okay, but when you have a guy that you can lock on a receiver, whoever that receiver is, whether they say, hey, go lock on the number one guy or go lock on the number two guy and we can roll coverage, whatever the case may be. You know what that allows you to do from a defensive standpoint with everybody else.
Yeah. It gives you flexibility now. One, because let's face it, in the modern day football, the number one or two number ones, most teams got two number one receivers. You ain't blanking these guys.
Right.
But what I will do is you're not going to sit over there, regardless of who I'm covering them from a number one guy, and sit over there and think it's going to be easy and you can throw, because I will make a play. Yeah. That's how a great corner is always thinking, like, you ain't going to come in here and blast for 100 or have your will, because I'm going to make a play.
Yeah.
And as long as I can show when I walk on the field and the other coaches know that we got to be smart in how we think about attacking that person. That changes their plays, but it also gives us flexibility to say, hey, man, hey, Sean, you already know, man, I'm good. They're not throwing over here, going do what you do, go on roam. And that's why I love having a relationship with, and you have a number one guy, because the number one guy, when he starts to get that confidence and he's within that scheme, I'm looking at Sean like, listen, I don't need you on a go, I don't need you on this. But I would tell TJ, I remember in the game, I dare you, Chad, you run a dig. Chad, you talk all that, I dare you to run a dig. Everybody talk a good game until you got a guy who can freelance or, hey, man, Marcus, I don't need you on the backside 3x1 and cover 3. Man, if you don't, I don't want to take on this power Bobo that Cincinnati is running. I don't want to hit Rudy. Don't worry about that. I got him over here. And you give the team flexibility. The offensive team has to look at your scheme a little different because you can't just attack their best player.
Yeah, no, that's great. How do we peak at the right time? And we talk, you hear this all the time. You want to be playing your best football in November and December. November was ugly for us. Went 1-4. But how do we play our best football in December? And it'll be January too, because
let me say something that may lead into Santana. You said something that was very important. Self-scout.
Yeah,
looking at what we've done on offense, why people been stopping our offense. Offense now, you got Jaden. They get to self-scout themselves, Tanner. They get to make the adjustments on offense.
Yeah. No, I mean, one of the things that he just mentioned about, when do we start peaking, I think this week here is going to be very important going into this bye. Because we know how these guys feel. A lot of these guys banged up, nicked up, and guess what? This league don't care.
At all.
Nobody feeling sorry for you.
That's why they gave you a week 14 bye week.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
No one cares. And I think it's going to be integral for us to go out there, regardless, like I said, whoever's in that backfield. I want to see us get back to what we did offensively with our run game.
Yep.
I think we need to pay a more of an emphasis on establishing the run again. You know what I mean? I think we took that for granted these past few weeks, and it showed. It showed in our
Did it take for
play.
granted, or people made the emphasis to stop it though?
That too, but I
felt like Philly.
No,
went
we
after
played some tough defenses.
Right.
We played 2 tough defenses that kind of opposed their will and made it hard for us to do so. But then I also feel that when you have a team like the Cowboys, we should have told them that you're going to have to look like Philly or Pittsburgh to stop this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so that's what I want to see us get back to doing what make us special offensively.
I love that. When we come back, we're looking at our best plays from this season. Welcome back to the Players Club. Fellas, this time we're going to take a look at the top 5 plays of this season so far. We got some outstanding plays. And Tanner, we're going to start off with Scary Terry.
There go that man.
Monday night play. What describe this to us?
I mean, this right here was one of those defining moments, I think, in his career to show the world on the big stage that, hey, when you put this ball up in the air, trust in me, I'm coming down with it.
Could have been a PI.
Man, like, even some of the better receivers in this league don't come down with that ball. And I think it's a testament to all those guys. It was the block in the backfield by Matt Nichols. It was the hit and throw by Daniels, and then it was the catch, man, that Terry showed the world that, man, I'm the #1 receiver in this league, and y'all better
Coach
recognize
calling it in a big moment. If it was a 0 call, it was an audible, 2 against 0 coverage. That was a big call in a big moment.
And he's on the right side, moving.
Yeah.
He talked about
moving to this side and running that route.
Right, but he said because the corner was so far off,
he gave him a little.
He had to give him a stunner,
double move,
which wasn't a part of the equation.
Yeah.
He did that on his own, and then Jaden standing in the pocket and delivering,
throwing a dime,
to be like still delivering.
That's a lot too that I've been noticing about Terry this year. His IQ is ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like some of the things I hear him say after the game, you would have asked me that, I would never say none of the stuff he said after the game. Because I have the time, like I told you guys, like, I see the game from a different lens. And we mostly all do. All of us have our own perspective view of how we, view this game. Right. But you can really see a guy like himself. He's not beating guys just with his athletic ability. He's beating guys mentally, brain. You know what I mean? Yep. And watching how they setting up and playing them.
All right, let's take a look at this play, man. This is week 12. This is a blocked field goal against the Cowboys. Quan Martin.
This is like deja vu. I remember Sean Taylor picking up that block field goal kick by that was Troy Vincent, I believe, at the time. And it was like we just talked about this a couple of weeks prior. And then when I saw that happen, I was like, oh man, but 2-4, you gotta score with that, man. Come on, guy. What are you doing? He ain't want to even
switch your hands. Look, man.
You gotta want to score with that, man.
Why don't you get the Cowboys a little credit.
Got to give them credit. Got to give them
look,
credit.
they got guys running. They got guys on the angle.
When you get that ball, man, look, he can make 1 or 2 guys miss and go to the middle of the field. Let's go now. Let's go cross the field.
The Cowboys had a lot of guys on their horses.
But if you saw from where we saw it in that,
You got score right there.
the middle of the field was
score.
wide open.
Right.
You got to make 2 or 3 guys miss and go.
And go.
Ty, that's the reason he plays defense.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
I don't know.
You're absolutely right. But that was a great job by Swan,
Cut
man.
it back right there?
Not right there, like right,
just go
right now. Right now.
Yeah, right there.
You cut, and them 2 guys there, they angle is bad. Yeah, now you gone.
Got hit a little something.
Yeah.
I'll say something else, though. This is a great scheme by Larry Izzo, the special teams coach.
Oh, man.
Because when you're prepping for this game, you see some things like, okay, we feel like we can get through this gap between the tight end and the wing. Michael Walker, he did a nice job doing his job, opening up that opening for Quan Martin to go through. Another play from week 12. Terry, this could have went down as one of the all-time great plays in franchise history.
We was ready to call it Hell Terry, and it just didn't end that way. But man,
that's
just look at the way he ran after the catch.
I was just about to say that's determination and will. We talk about moving him around. He's running a will route from the slot position.
This was also almost deja vu of my 2005, 2 catches. I'm like, Terry finna give me a run for my money. That's what I'm talking about. I was so geeked about this catch, and at the same time, like we all know what transpired afterwards. We missed the extra point, but you still got to give credit to the quarterback,
he hits
to
a
Terry.
Gear right there, man.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's running.
He's gone.
Another gear. I want to hear what the GPS numbers were.
Yeah, he was
on that
moving.
play.
22 miles.
You don't think it was 23?
It might have been 23.
I think it's 23.
I heard.
It might have been 23.
I was listening to a couple of
He got
radio
23.
guys talk about this wasn't all that special because he was wide open. I'm like,
No,
bro,
he wasn't wide open.
He wasn't wide open.
That's a great throw in.
And then 2, the throw was exceptional because like for you to put that between those 2 guys like that, man, it's just so much touch.
Chad, we ain't talking about some radio guys.
I had to bring it up because I'm like, it makes me mad that these guys even
trying to downgrade that play.
How you gonna downgrade that play?
This is special. Another special play. Dante Fowler. His pick 6
this kid,
Carolina Panthers.
Hey, man, this kid has been on time. Now, you talking about clearly he knows what to do with it, with the ball in his hand. He looked like a running back.
The first thing I said to him when I saw him after the game, I said, boy, you done tote that rock before. He said, I have. I played running back growing up. So I saw that instantly, man. It was a great catch. It was a great 1-2. He'll get London a little run for his money. London had the ball a couple of times and showed us a little bit of those kind of moves a little bit.
You know what? I'll buy that. I'll take that. Because when he got it and when he hit this little move, that little in and out, it was like he hit up with a rocker step.
No. That just shows his athleticism.
He gave him a little,
That kid's athleticism. He's a beast, man.
And last but not least, Hell Noah versus the Bears.
Oh, man, what can you say about it? First of all, it's just the play before us was a great setup to get him in position so he can read. But Jalen buying time, man.
Yeah, man.
That was just incredible. Look at the arm strength, the ball in there. I mean, that's always going to be on NFL films. Man, come on, man.
And what's special about this play is just knowing this is something that we've seen all year from these guys. Just no quit. These guys have been in all these games that they've lost, and that's what's special about this team. That goes back to that brotherhood. It goes back to this coaching staff and how they got these guys ready. Yep. Everybody doing their job and making sure that they finish, to the clock or to that last whistle. So credit to all those guys.
I would have to come down with. I would have to say in Redskin history that this play might be top 3, man.
Yeah,
it's
one of the instant classics, right?
It'll be one of those plays where 10, 15, 20, 50 years from now, somebody will ask, where were you at
when that play happened?
Noah touchdown. All right, fellas. That's a wrap for the top plays of this season. When we come back, we got Tress Way joining us on the show. Welcome back to the Players Club. We have a ton of great guests this season on the Players Club, and since it's the bye week, we wanted to revisit some of them. Check it out.
This is your Ice Cold Player, brought to you by Pepsi, the official soft drink of the Washington Commanders.
We got Tress Way joining us. Tress, we appreciate you, man.
Our guy.
It's always a good time when we
nice
get you
digs right here, boys.
You like this.
You like this setup,
all right?
This chair is pretty comfortable right now. That's all right.
Listen. In due time.
But he welcome anytime.
Keep putting that football the way you
got it, man. Yeah, you got it.
This will be here for you. Tress, you're a veteran, been around the league for a long time. How do you plan to spend your bye week?
Bye week. Well, here's the thing is that we really love showing all of our kids anytime I do some media like this. So everybody's going to have to be sworn to secrecy not to tell them. But they're in a big, like, prime kind of Disney age phase right now. So we're going to surprise them with a little a train trip up to New York for a couple days. We're going to take them to see Aladdin and the Lion King.
Right.
Up in New York. Maybe
Nice.
do some of the cool winter stuff in New York just for a couple days, maybe just the weekend or so, and then back down. But look.
How old are the kids, Tress?
They're 6. We got twins that are 6 and 6, and then we got a 4-year-old little girl, and so we're gonna take them up, have a good time, and other than that, I'm looking forward to watching some basketball practice with the little man, basketball practice with our little gal, go to gymnastics, get to do all the stuff I kind of missed during the week, and so it'll be fun.
Speaking of bye week, we was talking about how late this bye week is coming. And, I want to get into my little joking hat, put my joking hat on. You was one guy on this team that had a bye week before everybody else. What was it like those weeks when you wasn't punting the ball? Just give us a little.
Well, it was funny because when we played Arizona, I hadn't punted for 2 games, and then I had 1 punt against Arizona. And I missed my direction. I hit like an okay ball. Our coverage is just unbelievable. Those guys that we have on the punt team are just some dogs. But I missed my direction. I was talking with Coach Izzo, and I was just like, hey, I'm a little unhappy with, just now I don't feel like I'm grooving right now, things like that. And he just kind of laughed. He goes, Tress, you punted 1 time in 3 games. He was just like the whole preseason where you were getting some punts in and getting the flow going, then all of a sudden it just stopped. It's just like, let's just, you're still unpredictable. That's like one of your biggest strengths, and like let's just keep building off of that and keep working direction and things like that. But yes, I did. My hands didn't have a bye week. I was still holding a little bit, but no, that looking back at that now, man, and I'm fully confident that I'll have another bye week too. Not only a real bye week, but I know offense is going to get rolling, and we probably won't punt again. And so, it became a good joke, like the offensive guys, Mariota and JD and even Cliff. They'd be like, Tress, how many punts was the last game? I was like 2, or like one of the games. I'd be like, nope, got to get it back to 0. I was like, I'm here for it.
That's all good.
Yeah.
You've been here. This is your 6th season. How fun has this season been?
I'm having a lot of fun. It's probably been collectively my most joyful season, just from the start when DQ and everybody got here, just the standard they put in place. And the first day that he said, this is going to be the place for you if you're a dog competitor. I kind of sat up in my seat. That's me. He's talking to me. You know what I mean? So since that moment, just the way he's helped us build this team, the camaraderie that we have in the locker room, the work ethic that we put in each and every day. And I think that's what we hang our hats on at this point in the season. The work that we put in during the week, executing the situations. We've had multiple situations come up over the past few weeks that have determined scores. The Hail Mary determined the game. And so just the emphasis on the details has been there since he got here. And I think the competitiveness between offense and defense, when we've been going at it against one another, but then on Sundays, it's just what we do.
Being a student of the game, and I've shared this story a couple times about how you reached out to me on social media back when, I think this was about 2014. I was retired. You reached out to me. We hadn't talked to each other prior to that, didn't know each other. You reached out to me just like, hey, man, I love to, pick your brain, about the middle linebacker position. I also know other people in the business world. They've told me you've contacted them, like cold calls.
For sure.
You've also contacted other former NFL linebackers. Where did that, self-awareness come from and be like, man, you know what? Let me tap into these people who are doing things that I want to do and do it at a higher level?
Honestly, I don't know. I think maybe I got it from like Kobe or something. I think I read a story where Kobe would like cold call people.
Yeah.
And my mind says like the worst thing you do is say no. Like
Right.
if I reach out and you want to show love, then I get information. If I don't, then I don't. But like you'll never know unless you ask. And so I think that's kind of where that came. I know for sure the business side came from like stuff that I've heard Kobe do. But football wise, it's just like I've been a fan of the game and I know who is great, and I know the people that play this game at a high level for a long time, and like why not try to you know, reach out and learn. Again, like I said, the worst case is gonna be like either don't respond or it'll be like, hey, I ain't got the time. Yeah. But at least they know I'm out there. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where that came from. Just wanted to continue, you know, being a student of the game.
What I say in the beginning is patia. When I say patia, it means clap. So I say, give me one patia, it's like, give me one clap. So I just say it over and over again. And then after that, I say, where my dog's at? And they just give me a who or a he, and everybody just go down like he. And then I say that for a few times, and then 2 claps to Ric Flair, man. Like, you getting all that energy out, you know, butterflies, whatever, like just, and you ready to go out. So it helps me. Man. That's something.
Help you. When I saw that video, I told them I want to go back just for that. I want to be a part of that.
You probably feeling like me. I'm about to be like, damn, we about to do 100 right now. Let's do it. No, we can't strap it back up. Right now, at the time, man. I'll tell you what,
man. It's just a tradition, man. In our culture that we do, man. I'm just trying to bring it to the team, man, because I know that's one thing that everybody, you know, put all your product. Everybody's one. You know what I mean? And we go out for one job, and you know, and we go out and win. So
Well, I love you brought it here, man. I love what you're doing thus far. You know, London normally do this, and I know it's been a long time. So what we normally do, every guest that come on the show, we had a ball for him and get his time, man. So hey, keep up what you're doing, man, because we big fans, and we was big fans before you step on the field for us. But man, what you out there doing? Hey, don't be surprised. I might make this shirt too. It's gonna be a Tasmanian devil with a 4. I'm gonna make some proceeds
before you try.
I go proceeds with him, man.
I'm saying, you got trademark it.
Get your Frankie man. You everywhere, bro. I love it, man.
If I'm wearing your shirt, then you really like that.
He don't wear nothing but him. That's gonna do it for the Players Club, man. We appreciate Frankie coming on this on the show with us. We'll see you next week, same time on the Players Club.
Peace.